Well, hey everyone, welcome to part 6 of the calendar planner tutorial. We are wrapping it up completely today with some options on the beginning pages, as well as how to get this thing printed, how to export it if you're going to have somebody else print it. If you're going to print it yourself, you're going to need a production machine in order to do it. So if you're from a school or a church or a company that has a really big multifunction copier printer, you'll be able to do what I'm going to show you how to do today. If not, you're going to need to take this thing over to Staples or Kinko's, and I'm going to show you how to export it so that you can do that and still have it print out correctly. And you might want to take it to Staples or Kinko's anyway, because they're going to have all the equipment to get the coil bind and all that kind of stuff in place. But basically what I've done since the last tutorial is I went ahead and went out here, I put in every single one of the months, I put in all of the weeks for the month, and as you can see, it ended up being, let's see here, 140 pages. And I also went ahead and made a back page. I mean, I didn't make a back page, but I put in just this filler so that I know what the back page is. So if you wanted to create a back cover, you can do that inside of, say, Canva or maybe Adobe Spark and create a nice full color back cover. If you were going to do that, you might want to add in a couple of blank pages at the end, or maybe not blank pages, but note pages, so that way you can get a full color back, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a minute. Same thing here with the front page. I did not actually create a cover yet, just dropped this in so I know where the front page is. But what I wanted to go over real quick before we go over printing and exporting it is I have not designed the rest of the beginning pages. So we just, as we did our design, we started out with the month of August and we went through and put in all of the weeks. And the reason I did not put in the first few pages yet is because I don't know how you're going to use your calendar. If you're designing it for a college or a high school or a grade school, then you might put school information on the first few pages, which is what I'm going to go over here in just a moment. But you can totally customize this. You could throw some note pages in. If you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're going to put in some specific contacts or important contacts at the beginning, people that you work with. Maybe you want to lay out a year at a glance, series of calendars at the beginning so you can circle important dates or bring them to your attention. I don't know, but how the calendar planner that I got the idea from and am designing from, what they did is they started out with, of course it was for a college, so I really like this portion right here, if found, return to, and once again this is just an image, so you can see that. So you can just design over top of it. If you wanted to copy what's already here, maybe you want to put a picture up here, maybe you want to put information down here, I don't know. But what they did is they put in some different information here. They put in the title, it's a student planner, here's what it is. They put in some social media links. They put the entire academic calendar on this side, some important phone numbers across campus over here. So just kind of give you an idea of some things you could do. The football schedule, contact information for maybe some of your important contacts, but you could easily put note pages or things like that in there. Your fall and your spring schedule. So the current design that I'm working on, I will probably end up putting all of this information in for our school where I work. But for myself personally, I would probably keep this little portion, and I'd probably put in my calendar planner or something with the dates. I don't know what I would do here. Maybe just some type of a banner image, and I still don't know what I would do across the bottom. I'd have to come up with some ideas there. But that'll just give you some ideas of what you could potentially put on the beginning pages. I talked about a year at a glance. You could do like a yearly calendar, something like this. That would kind of negate the need for this page though, because of the way that we designed this one. Here was our first week of August right here, so you wouldn't necessarily need this page. You could put notes or something over there if you wanted to. All right, let's go over how to add in. I know we did this early on in the design, but we're going to drop down here and add in some pages at the end so I can show you what I would do there. Alright, so I'm just going to right click underneath, or actually I think on this page, and I'm going to say insert a page. It's going to tell me that it needs to do 4, and that's okay because we want to keep the right number of pages for creating a booklet, even though it's going to be spiral bound. So now we have some blank pages in there. And on page 143, this page right over here, we would want to leave that blank because it's going to be the inside of the back cover. But we could easily, go in here and say, oh, maybe we want to drop in some notes pages. So I'm going to come up here. We'll say notes. And we'll jump this up a bit, and we'll put that to Arial Black. And maybe we want to drop in a table. Actually, we just want it to be 1 row wide. There we go. So maybe we just want to drop in that table like this, and then I'm just going to tab some new spaces in there, and we'll actually drop that down. And then we want to right click on it and format the table, and we want just these lines here. So how do we do none? Turn them off. There we go. We want the color to be black. 0.5 point. Okay. And there we go. We've got our notes ready to go. We can highlight them all by hitting Control A and then Control Shift. Click and drag. And with those highlighted, copy them, Control C, and we actually want those to be on the other side of the page. So let's hold down our Shift, and we said we wanted to leave that one blank. So that gives us some note pages at the back. Alright, 2 different ways to get this thing printed. If you have a production machine, a multifunction copier printer that can print front to back, collate, staple, hole punch, all, just the works. These machines usually cost like somewhere between $15,000 and $30,000, so chances are you don't have access to one. But if you do, then what you're going to do is just go ahead and print it right from here. So let me show you what that looks like on my printer. On mine, here I am printing. It's already set to go to the right printer. I would go into the print properties, and I'm going to turn some of this stuff off. I'm going to set it to booklet, and it says that my page size is statement, which is true. I want it to print on letter size paper, and I'm also printing mine in grayscale because I don't want to use up a bunch of color, and there's no color in this document right now anyway. But if you did jazz yours up with some color, then you'd definitely want to print in full color. Alright, so with that all done, the next part is going to be, well, my printer has some pretty crazy features. So for like the paper source, I can go into my front and back cover settings and say that I want to I want to take the front cover from another source, like put it on cardstock, and the rest of it can be on regular paper. I'm going to go ahead and just cancel out of that. You can also tell it here that you want it to print on a different page for the cover, because you are going to print on it. The other option I just showed you was for if you already have a cover printed and it's just pulling it from that drawer. This here will actually print on that cardstock, and then all the other pages are going to just be on plain paper. And then from here I can go ahead and hit print, and everything will print out just fine. Now, like I said, chances are you probably don't have access to that type of a printer, so how are you going to get this thing over to Staples or Kinko's and have them coil bind it and turn it into a book for you? The best way to do that is to go up to File, Save As, and go ahead and choose where you want to save it. We're already working inside of our project folder, so we're just going to leave it there. And underneath the Save As type, we're going to drop down to PDF. Then we're going to go into our options, and we're going to go under the print options. Do make sure that you're under either high quality printing or commercial press. I recommend staying on that high quality printing. Click on the print options, and right here we're going to say 1 page per sheet. And it's looking at the page sizes as being 5.5 by 8.5. So with that all done, we're going to go ahead and say OK, OK again, and save. And if this worked, it's going to take a minute for it to create that PDF, because remember we got 140 some odd pages. Alright, and if we did it correctly, there we go. We now have the individual pages and everything is in order. Now don't freak out that the calendar is broken up, because if they print it correctly, all of these are going to match back up and they're going to turn back into spreads once it goes through the printer. But that's what your file is going to look like. So you can now take this file and either upload it right to staples.com and tell them that you want it to be into a specific type of booklet. If you're wanting to create hundreds of copies of this, because maybe you're going to hand it out to students on your campus, there is a website called lulu.com, and you can go there to print hundreds or thousands of copies of your book. And they've got, you just have to kind of go through and tell it what you want it to do. Hey, you're making a book or a calendar or a photo book, how many copies you want. And then you'll get pricing and stuff. Typically, if you're ordering by either hundreds or thousands, you're going to get a much better deal than if you're only printing like 20, 30 or something like that. Alright, hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Drop down in the comments below if you have any questions that I have not answered through these tutorials. And I will do my best to get out here and answer those questions either through the comments or with another video. If you do have other questions about Publisher completely unrelated to creating calendars and planners, please drop those down in the comments below as well, as I would love to have some ideas for creating some more tutorials on using Microsoft Publisher. Thank you so much for watching this series. I will hopefully create some more awesome content for you in the future, and you'll enjoy just coming out and seeing some more tutorials. Thank you so much. Bye bye.